clothes has never been easier. 80 billion textiles are manufactured every year, and it leads to the result being landfills being filled up to 80% just by articles of clothing.
So having seen the statistics, Helen, this is a big problem that the fashion industry is facing. Is change really gathering pace?
Yep, it's no doubt. Change is gathering pace in the fashion industry to tackle all those issues that we've got with sustainability and protecting our planet, really. And some of that, I think, is because the customers are driving that. The customers really care now where their clothes come from, how they're made, who is making them, in what situation, and what they're made of. And this is very much driving brands and the industry to think through their own supply chains and the traceability of a garment. It really matters.
Fast fashion is a term used to describe the rapid production of clothing and accessories in response to the latest trends. It is a business model that has been adopted by many popular clothing brands, but it is also a practice that has been linked to environmental and social problems.
They just don't have the safety nets or the national insurance schemes that we are lucky enough to have here. It means that garment workers are basically left destitute. I think a lot of these big brands are just used to not taking responsibility for the people in their supply chains. They're used to getting away with it.
The fast fashion industry is one of the largest contributors to pollution in the world. The production of clothing requires large amounts of water, energy, and resources. These resources are often used in an unsustainable way, resulting in the depletion of natural resources and the release of harmful chemicals into the environment.
Many people are more or less aware that it is very harmful for the environment, but I think that many people also seem to think that there are many in the fashion industry who are trying to become better, who are sustainable and so on, and when in fact that is very often not the case. They are using that in order to make people think that they are doing something.
Textile manufacturers have contributed to harming the ecosystem in several ways, including water pollution. Textile manufacturing is a water-intensive process, and the discharge of untreated wastewater containing chemicals and dyes can pollute water bodies and harm aquatic life. Chemical pollution, the use of hazardous chemicals in textile production, such as dyes, bleaches, and finishing agents, can release toxic pollutants into the air and water, posing a health risk to workers and nearby communities. Land pollution, textile waste, such as leftover fabric scraps and trimmings, can contribute to landfill waste and take up valuable space. The use of synthetic fibers, such as polyester and nylon, also contributes to microplastic pollution. Deforestation, the production of natural fibers, such as cotton and rayon, can contribute to deforestation and habitat loss for wildlife. Greenhouse gas emissions, the energy-intensive nature of textile production, along with the transportation and distribution of materials and finished products, can contribute to greenhouse gas emissions and climate change. Fast fashion most definitely contributes to the problem of textile waste. Many people buy clothing that they wear only a few times before discarding it. This results in a large amount of textile waste that ends up in landfills, where it can take hundreds of years to decompose. The social impact of fast fashion is also a concern. Many of the people who work in the fast fashion industry are paid very low wages and work in unsafe and unhealthy conditions. This is particularly true for workers in developing countries, where many of the world's largest clothing brands have their factories. There are many ways to address the problems associated with fast fashion. One approach is to encourage consumers to buy clothing that is made from sustainable materials and to support brands that prioritize ethical and sustainable practices. Another approach is to promote recycling and upcycling of clothing, which can help to reduce textile waste.
I would say that more than 90% of my clothes are clothes that I have been given from other people, like family members, friends, classmates, and because I don't buy new things, and also I am short, which means that when people grow out of their old clothes, they can give them to me, which is convenient for me.
Manufacturers and producers can take several steps to reduce waste at the source and move towards more sustainable and circular practices. Some of these steps are designing products for durability and reparability so that they can be used for longer periods and easily repaired when needed. This can help reduce the frequency of new product purchases and subsequent waste. Using sustainable materials and production processes, such as organic cotton, recycled polyester, and waterless dyeing, to reduce the environmental impact of production and use of resources. Implementing a closed loop or circular supply chain, where waste materials are recycled and reused in the production process. This can help reduce the amount of waste generated and conserve resources. Adopting a take-back or recycling program, where consumers can return used products to the manufacturer for proper disposal or recycling. This can help ensure that the products are disposed of properly and do not end up in landfills or incinerators. Engaging in transparency and reporting on environmental impact, such as disclosing the carbon footprint or water usage of the production process. This can help hold manufacturers accountable and encourage them to make further improvements towards sustainability. In conclusion, fast fashion is a practice that has many negative environmental and social impacts. It is up to all of us to take action to address these problems and to work towards a more sustainable and ethical fashion industry.